Welcome to what will soon be My Dog Ate My Book Report, an upcoming podcast where two weirdo 30-somethings take turns introducing each other to a formative book from childhood the other has never read to see if the magic is held up. I am Wren, and I am an aforementioned weirdo 30-something. I'm from the great old state of Maine, which means that there will probably be some Stephen King in here because that's required reading. I have a pet parrot who I do my very best to drown out in these recordings. His name is Rambo, and that's probably all you need to know about me.
I am Brandon. I'm also a weirdo. I grew up in Virginia. It's probably relevant to say that neither of us live in the states we grew up in anymore. Anyhow, I grew up in Virginia, which means we weren't given Stephen King, but we did read a fair number of things that lined up with colonial times, because you can't throw a ball in Virginia without hitting either a colonial site or a Civil War battlefield or something like that.
That's a good point. We had a lot of revolutionary stuff because as Mainers, we were always just like the little siblings of Massachusetts. Like, seriously, we used to be a colony of them. We don't even have our own state bird or anything. We just copy them. We just clearly want to be Massachusetts. Anyway, I'm going to upset a lot of Mainers here. I'm one of you, I promise.
Excellent. Get those hate listens right from the get-go.
Yeah, so we had a lot of emphasis on revolutionary stuff and learning songs about Paul Revere and books about pilgrims and things.
We did less pilgrims for certain parts of elementary school. Obviously, you always do Thanksgiving things, right? But like when we got to the point that things were getting more focused, both in terms of lit and history class, it was like a fair number of pre-revolution kind of things. Anything that feels Jamestown adjacent or like Williamsburg. We also slightly would dabble in like things that relate to really any founding father. A lot of them are Virginians, right? So if like George Washington was just incidentally in a book somewhere, we would just totally be like, yeah, he's one of ours.
that all of that stuff was definitely drilled into me as a kid, but the thing that as an adult really nailed all that stuff home was Hamilton. So you're all like, some of the founding fathers are from Virginia. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that song. So an important note about this podcast is that the selections of media that we are going to be subjecting each other and all of you to are not going to be exclusively kids' books, because we were those kids that read books they likely shouldn't have at young ages.
It's true.
Like I said, there will be some Stephen King here. And also, there definitely will be spoilers for all of the books in their respective episodes. So if you see an episode title of a book you haven't read and that you've been meaning to since you were a kid, I mean, you should do that. But also, you might not want to listen to that particular episode.
Also, I think we are focusing on talking about books that at least one of us hasn't read. So we're probably not going to talk about some of the like perennial classics that everybody reads, right?
I don't know. The first episode is a perennial classic. You just missed it. That's how we got on this whole thing, is just how many things each other missed.
I just not certain that your definition is
Okay, I'm sorry. If a book won like multiple Newbery Awards and spawned multiple sequels and is considered beloved, you know.
I mean, I suppose this might just be telling us that rather than certain children's books being beloved throughout the US, maybe it's a state thing.
We're going to find some regional differences here.
Because like, here's the thing. In Virginia schools, if we're going to read a survival-y thing, it's My Side of the Mountain. That's the one.
I've never read that.
It's a Virginia thing. I don't know.
Guess we can add that to the list.
Okay, so perennial classic may be a debated term. I think it probably also means we won't be talking too much about things that were like the new hotness during our childhoods, perhaps. Like we've both read Harry Potter, for instance. Other reasons we probably wouldn't talk about Harry Potter on the show, but like it doesn't fit the rubric anyway.
Yeah. This does lead me into what I wanted to be our little discussion topic for this here, mini introduction episode. Since one of our objectives is to rate these books that one of us has read and one of us has not, I thought that we needed to come up with some sort of baseline rating system that will mean something to both of us. For example, if I gave such and such a book 3 out of 5, I just threw in Last Unicorns here, or whatever. In terms of some shared piece of media we both still considered reasonably perfect. Also, in doing so, we're probably going to come up with some more books to add to our list of ones we need to revisit. So, what books have we both read that we both still really love? The first one that came to my mind was Charlotte's Web. I don't know how you feel about Charlotte's Web.
I like Charlotte's Web. I did read it.
But you don't love it.
I don't think I love it.
Oh, gosh. I need to revisit our entire friendship. Gosh, I don't know. That book, the illustrations. Oh. It's fine. It's fine. Garth Williams, I feel like, the books aside, I feel like Garth Williams probably is equal parts formative for me in terms of some things.
I mean, the book's good. I don't have any problem with the book. Although now I do kind of want to have our rating system be, instead of numerical, the various messages that Charlotte writes in her web. It's not intuitive. I think Hatchet is some pig. Is that good? Maybe.
Humble was a word. Hatchet was very humble. I do like that, but yeah, I think it won't mean much to a lot of people. Well, what was your favorite? Just absolute favorite.
I don't know. Come back to me.
There's only 2 of us. I can't come back to you.
Yeah, you can. Go to Rainbow.
What did you think of Roald Dahl? Did you like Matilda?
Yeah, I liked Matilda.
But you didn't love Matilda.
I didn't.
Wowie. We're just... Yep.
Yeah.
I'm rethinking this whole podcast with you. Oh, good golly. Wait, does that mean you never read The Witches?
Oh, yeah, I've never read The Witches.
Ah, okay, well, there we go. Oh, but I did make you watch the movie.
Yes. You know, I feel like I can safely say that one of my favorite books in elementary school, at least, was James and the Giant Peach.
I loved that book. That book also is one of my votes for best film adaptation.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal film adaptation.
It also made me really, really want to eat a peach. I hadn't had one before reading the book, and I was so excited to finally eat one. It was not what I expected. I think through, reading the descriptions, I expected a peach to taste more like, I don't know, some sort of, chewy candy sort of thing. I don't know. I was disappointed. So does that give us an answer? Such and such book is 3 out of 5 peaches?
Giant peaches.
Giant peaches, 3 to 5 giant peaches. I'm happy with this answer.
Yeah, I think that seems like a perfectly fair metric.
Hopefully that gives you all a little bit of a taste of our, I don't know, rapport or opinions or something.
How are we going about this experiment, Wren?
Oh, well, you're trying to do a really nice leadway into my next paragraph.
Leadway, yeah, that's the word.
Leadway? Oh my... segue. Why is my brain already broken? Well, I'm glad you asked. We'll run bi-weekly, with one episode being a Wren week, and the next being a Brandon pick. Every 5th episode, we will do a special episode involving other types of media. For example, a movie adaptation of one of our book picks. Or an episode where we read a book neither of us have read, but we really should have. Cough. Redwall cough. And I think we're pretty excited to share these books and our thoughts and deeply held opinions about them with all of you.
Yeah.
Little podcast experiment is coming soon.
So we should probably say, that our first episode, will be about Hatchet.
I think they probably learned that from context clues since we mentioned Hatchet so many times.
Fair. I feel like we should just be in the habit, though, of saying what the next episode is going to be about in case people want to read along.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. I make good points.
But not good choices.
Yeah, pretty much.